and just working through some more of these CC top 10 course playthroughs and just offering my feedback and small judging notes and stuff like that here. We're going to be looking at Old Mound by Drago2286. And yeah. So we've got playing the back tees, pin 4, medium wind, and let's give her a go here. Just pulling up my chat on my phone. Should probably get a second screen at some point, but alas, here we are. Chicken wings, we've done it. It's having a titanic struggle with OBS. Ben helped me out, so here we go. Good to go. Alright, let's give this a little fly around here. So, I've played this course a couple times, and there's a lot of stuff I really like about it, and I think I've got just some good insight and ways that this could possibly have been improved as well. So, with a name like Old Mound and a plot kind of like this, just giant open space, fairway everywhere. Somewhere Houdat Matt just had a good feeling and doesn't know why. This is why. So, yeah, we're gonna assume the inspiration is probably like the old Barnwell, kind of some of those newer tree farm type courses maybe that are popping up too. So, yeah. Lots of open space, bunkers everywhere. You could probably build like an awesome adventure routing actually with this course too. So, yeah, we did it, Ben. We made it. Thank you very much. So, yeah, lots of just some really fun kind of rolling elevation. Some greens are, perched up, some sat down, so some good variety here. And I really don't know much or anything about this designer, so I don't know if there's been other courses that he's made that I'm unfamiliar with, but this was kind of a cool, like, unknown discovering a new designer kind of thing for me. So yeah, simple clubhouse. The clubhouse exists, and yeah, he wasn't eligible for any podium positions, so we have no vehicles in the parking lot here. So making sure we got none back here. Yeah. So for all intents and purposes, was disqualified for the lack of vehicles, but here we are. So, anyways, let's give this a go. First hole, and again, I will acknowledge I'm playing with the shorter clubs. I'm playing on the easier swing settings, but we'll make notes as if we're using the other clubs as well. So, thoughts and prayers indeed. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, long par 4 to open here. Kind of a pinch tee shot, but there's room to kind of play it up here, and I think the green side's pretty open as well, so hitting a 3-wood is an option off this tee, I guess. But yeah, I like the textures. I like the golden grass. Looks nice. Offset by the lighting. We've seen it before, but yeah, it looks good. It's a good look. The environment feels, like it's not like, the best we've ever seen, but I think it's very effective for it. It makes sense. This course just kind of feels whole. Some of the perimeter, like, we could have probably done a little bit more with, like if if the plant meter was even close to being maxed out, I think we did something pretty wrong. But just maybe doing a little bit more detail on the edge of the plot here could have helped out a little bit. But how the internal stuff looks cool. Yeah, first green. It's a good one. I like this big mound in front. Some interesting kind of feeder slope on the side there. Some internal contours. So just, yeah, it's going to have some different pins and it's going to play well. So I think for a long hole, for a CC course as well, it's, you know, tastefully done. So good work. Going back to the adventure course thing, we should almost like, someone should prod him and ask him to do one, because seriously, this would be like a perfect one. Victor Lane would probably be all over that. So, alright, second hole. Yeah, so I actually, this is, like I said, I've played this course a few times. This is kind of one of my favorite holes on the course, actually. So, we've got, yeah, you just want to be able to hit your tee shot as far as you can here, but he's given us lots of room to do that. I think if you can get past this bunker there, there's like just a teeny little, get some extra roll. I can't, but others could. With a different wind as well, but yeah. Alright, second shot, we have a ton of options here now. I think this is really cool. So just with the angle of the green here, we're going to want to be approaching it from the higher side. But we've got, you know, good carry bunker here. This little bunker complicates things as well, so getting to that for me isn't really an option. If people just kind of mindlessly bash it towards the green here, they're going to roll down onto that side there, and that's going to leave kind of a tougher angle of attack, especially with this little kind of mound bleeding in there, so any pins close to that are going to be tricky. So yeah, I could see that. But, and then, yeah, just in fun, just ground game, lots of ground game options. And if this was downwind, if I had the longer clubs, you know, you could absolutely be going for this green in two. So, I am, however, going to just try and leave myself a wedge. So I'm going to try and, again, just kind of split these bunkers and get to a flatter lie. So, I love building long par fives. It's one of my favorite holes to design, and I know I'm in the minority with that, but for me, this is a great example of just, I always think like the second shot is kind of the shot that really matters on a hole like that, and when it's well done, it's cool. Get out of here, fishy. How dare you? How you doing, buddy? Making any good pizzas lately? Yeah. Really good par 5. And that's just the playability is definitely there for it. So, really enjoy that one. Hey, how's it going, Reteach? Boinsey? Yep. You're making pizza right now. Love it. Yeah, I got the short par 3 here. So, probably the longest hole on the course, now to the shortest hole on the course. I like that stuff. Yeah, things are good. Playing some courses. So, it's a very forgiving target for such a short hole. And I know it's CC, but yeah, there's interest in the green. This is one that we probably could have maybe dialed up just a little bit more. Like this is that's a really easy pin, a ball pin on a 110-yard wedge shot. Very CC appropriate, but looks good. I know we'll get to them when we get to them, but I would say the par 3s aren't the strength of this course, but I think we got a nice one out of the gates here. So hey, congrats! Good for you, man. Yeah. Alright. And this is kind of fun. So we've had a really long par 5, now we've got a really short par 5. And again, this one's it's on the wacky side. This is a choose your own adventure hole for sure, but I don't know. I kind of like it. Kind of like it. Again, longer clubs and carry this uphill bunker situation going on. Otherwise, we can play over here. This side, shorter approach but worse angle, directly over that bunker. A little bit longer but better angle. And big punch bowl green. Totally, yeah. Like I remember playing this for the first time. It was just like, this is genuinely fun to play. Fun to play, fun to design. So you got the win-win. And then, yeah, into this big punch bowl green here. This mound in front is going to make things a little bit trickier. So, yeah. And as well, thinking about the drainage on this hole too. We got a nice little notch on the front there. Brilliant. Love it. So, yeah. This is not a challenging, well, in theory it's not a challenging hole, but it's fun. Yeah. Good things happening here. And again, like I said, from someone I don't know really anything about, it's nice. So. We've got an interesting short 4 here as well. So. And again, kind of good little bit of variety here. The last green was a punch bowl, and now we're playing to basically like a knoll style green site where it's probably the highest point of the course actually, if you're looking at it. So just, I'm sure he was like thinking about that as well. So just good variety. All right, so this pin here. Now, one thing I will say, and this is maybe sometimes a bit of an issue on this course, is like wide fairways are fun, lots of options, but sometimes they will kind of, it's a little much. And so I can't get close to the screen. Well, I guess I could, but that's just going to leave a really awkward shot. And so you can kind of just hit it anywhere way out on the left here without much fear and just leave yourselves just a pretty easy wedge shot in. So. Maybe. Yeah. The crazy thing about the first hole at St. Andrews too is just, it's so wide, but you get people that will actually just miss that tee shot as well, and some of them will get pretty lucky, and their tee shot will bounce off of a tire on a parked car and then back into play. But but then that's great, and they'll go on to shoot a 75 and have the round of their life. So. Yeah, probably. Yeah, thoughtful hole, but I'd say it's like it's a spot where maybe the width is taking it from a great hole to being just like a good hole. Yeah. Yeah, or the other thing is like someone can just hit like a straight pull left as well, and especially for a first tee shot too, like that must be just so embarrassing and nerve-wracking to do that. But all right, par 3. Both par 3s so far have kind of had a bowl pin, so I don't know. Ben, do you want to take this one? Or I kind of like the hidden bunker, but yeah. This hole would almost play better as like a longer par 3, I think, where you're actually kind of do have to land it short. With the short iron here, kind of mid to short iron, you're just kind of throwing a dart. So a lot of the visual trickery is kind of maybe lost a little bit on something like this, but yeah, we'll see. Man, huge fairway. So you can hit this one pretty much anywhere. Big hogsback feature in the middle here. But then, yeah. The width is probably a little much, but for this one, you know, with that kind of, not quite lion's mouth bunker, but close-ish, you know, it will, you know, that's going to factor in on which side of the hole we want to be on. So for this pin, I can definitely just hit it down here, but it almost makes like, it almost makes it a little bit too easy to kind of get where you need to go on this hole. So, oh hello, how's Mr. Bear today? We're just telling people their courses are bad, except this one's not bad because it got top 10 in a contest. So, have you played this course, Bear? It's a good one. You'd probably absolutely destroy it, though. It's not too many places you can really get into a ton of trouble. So, yeah. Also, Ben says it was a decent wind. It was. I have videos. It was a pretty healthy wind at points there. Yeah, yeah. Drivable par 4. Pretty interesting one. But again, I think, like, honestly, quite interesting, but I think this is one where, again, just the amount of fairway almost makes this hole a bit too easy. Like, there's a real risk of, you know, bouncing off the back of the screen, but we're just bouncing into fairway, so there's not really, it's not the end of the world. I guess it looks like where we're going here. And yeah, with a short driver too. So it's very reachable for everyone. It probably was, actually, yeah. Hey, you know what? I missed in a bad spot here. I take that back. But again, I'd probably want... I missed in probably the worst place I could have. But I feel like there's a ton of other places to miss where you'd be totally fine. I just found the one spot, so maybe having a couple more areas where, you know, a missed shot is actually punished would help a hole like this, because again, reachable for everyone, so when that's the case, we can tighten the screws a little bit. Okay. 9. Yeah. Big tier on the green here, but short par 4. And with the green being this open, yeah, You could try and get past, but there's not really any point to that, so I think just laying back to the massive fairway works good here. So there's definitely strategy to a lot of these holes, but I think it's very easy to play safe on this course. So. Cool. And back into the sun, back with the good lighting. Another long par 5 here. So again, the interesting green contours again. So the greens are fun. Greens are good, but again, nothing around it. So we're kind of relying on short grass to be the challenge, and in this game, that's unfortunately not always the case. So. Yeah, really like just yeah. The bunkering's well done. I haven't really mentioned that yet, but the size for the most part, like I feel the scaling has been pretty good. You don't want to go like super tiny bunkers for, you know, something this big. It's gonna just look weird. So like, there's been some like good larger ones, which makes sense. You can see them here too. So and just sculpting's good. Like the little rumpled land around them too. So the course presents nicely. There's some good technical stuff done there. And again, just lay up to leave a wedge into kind of the flatter spot. I mean, yeah, kind of fun little fall off on the back of the screen too. Just, yeah, interesting little runoffs. Yeah. Soul just has a really nice kind of really natural lay of the land feel to it. So I don't think we've had a blind drive yet, so this one's fine. But it's a nice reveal. Just fairway contours, lighting's doing a lot of good work here. As I played this course a few times though, I think another thing we're getting, you know, we've had a lot of wide fairways at this point. And I think this is a case where actually just bringing in some trees at about now would help a lot for just a bit of variety. So, you know, we've got some big pockets of kind of dead ground, and it's not even that the trees have to be in play, but just visually breaking things up a little bit. So, you know, if we had some here, I think that would be kind of cool just to frame some of these holes a little bit differently. And, yeah. I think there's ways that could have been done, and that would have really enhanced this course. But yeah, just a good green again. It's a really big ridge of red in the middle there, but if you're asking the player to control their distance, and I mean that's a good way to do it. So. another par 3 here, and it's okay. It's the green's interesting, but we've played a hole now that's, was it the second par 3 was kind of plays about this length. So I think just for variety's sake, and then the other one was short too. So we basically had 3 of the par 3s have been short to, yeah, short iron par 3s. So I think just adding a bit of length somewhere would help a lot. So and just a different look too. Like I think the first one also played over a big gorge too. So probably my least favorite of the par 3s so far, I would say. It's not bad. It's just I've said on other videos, but I would describe this hole as being one of the holes on this course. So no one's thinking back and remembering that par 3. So all right. Yeah, this one's kind of fun. Small, probably the smallest green we've played so far by quite a bit. Ooh, that's a pin's a little spicy there. Probably could have moved that over a little bit. Crossovers? What do you mean? Like holes that cross over each other? Yeah. I've done a couple of them. I think they're tricky. There's a lot of factors, I guess I would say. So it's, what type of course are we doing? Like, are you building a public parkland course? A hole crosses, two other holes. Like that's, in that case, maybe it's a little less believable kind of thing. Or, the hole that I did that was a crossover was on my World Cup course, and, I just imagine that being one of the most remote places you could ever be, and that not really being a problem. But I also made sure like the sight lines were good, so people playing those holes could, in theory, see each other the entire time too. So they work in the right circumstances, I'll say, to be diplomatic. All right. This is an interesting hole here too. I think I was chatting to Q. Yeah, this was on CC. So, and I think he said, what was it? This hole for one of the days played just like extremely, extremely tough. I wouldn't be surprised if it was this pin, because I think a lot of people are just going to bash it up here and then be left with kind of an awkward length. And, if you hit those slopes there, you're just going to be rolling way far away. So, ooh, another spicy one. Again, I think this is one where I kind of want to be coming at it from the side. So, but yeah. So this ball's going to bound way down to the left, and I'm okay with that. Hopefully a bit of a flattish line. Exactly, yep. So now I've got like sort of a little bit of a backstop going up here now. Yeah. Pretty severe green. But I'd say, yeah, concept good, execution and polish sometimes just needs some more practice, honestly. Yeah, good green here. I like that we're just kind of at the base of a hill and the green's just, the contours are just flowing off that hillside, so that's nice. Again, you know, if you're going straight at it, yeah, little hogsback feature, so potentially kicking you into that big bunker, or yeah, it just leaves you with a bit of a worse angle. And then if we take on the narrower side here, we've got just coming up like the, yeah, just approaching the green with more of a backstop. So I feel this hole would play a little bit better if it was just like 20 yards, 30 yards longer too. Maybe I'm off on that, but I feel like having a bit of a longer approach into a green like this would make it play better. We actually haven't had a ton of long par fours now that I think about it. I think the first hole was, and then yeah, because 4 was a par 5. Yeah, yeah, we're kind of needing some longer par 4s here, and I think this is a good candidate for definitely some length being added. So yeah, now yeah. So this is pin 4 that I'm playing. We've got 3 of the par 3s, 3 of the 4 par 3s have kind of pins in just like a bowl or a little funnel location. So that's another one where, yeah, yeah, lots of ground game, but this, again, this is one of the holes on this course. But yeah, that's where, you know, doing your pin check sheets and stuff like that some people do kind of comes in handy, because you'll avoid things like this. So, oh, am I even gonna reach it? Yeah, but yeah, that's definitely an oversight there. Just balance your pins. Yeah, I'd really like some more length on this, especially on this back nine here. Yeah, this hole's fine, but it's not really bringing too much new that I haven't seen before. So probably not. Like, not like right away anyways. I've got a couple things I'm working on, but I don't feel any pressure to put out a course right now, I guess. I'll say that. Yeah, I'm working on some stuff. Hello, Saucy. How are you? Alright. We're at 18 now. Again, short par 4 finisher. I like this one. There's lots of good options here. But again, that's kind of also just echoing the need for a long par 4 at some point on this back nine. So probably a couple of them actually, just for some variety. Yeah. Yeah. I think I've kind of gone over everything I have to say about this course, but tons of positives. I think that opening stretch, I just want to fly over it one more time here. Quickly do that, but I think that opening stretch is definitely just the strongest part of this course. It almost feels like he kind of ran out of steam with some of the back nine, but yeah. One was a good opener. Love the green. I would say 2 is probably my favorite hole on the course here. It's just, yeah, that's your best work. Best par 3 on the course here as well, or best looking par 3 for sure. And this absolutely wacky. We needed more of this on the course is honestly what we needed. Just get wild, get some narrower spots in there, so like have some targets we have to hit, and big bunkers and stuff. So, and then yeah, just that hilltop green in the end was just an awesome green site. So those opening like 4 or 5 holes were really set the tone for this course, and it didn't quite kind of carry that level all the way through, unfortunately. But hey, that'll come with experience and time. So, yeah, good job. To nail top 10 in a contest for, I want to say, your first entry, that's huge. So, really looking forward to seeing more from this designer. So, anyways, that'll be it for this playthrough here. I'm gonna quickly reset the stream, and I'll be back right away with another one.